Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. So the conversation with regard to where the former head of state, President Edgar Lungu, has kept his money keeps on coming up. So this is the headline today. So this was reported in the News Diggers, and the government spokesperson, that's Cornelius Muetwa, made this statement. He says Lungu has lots of money in Dubai. That's why his surrogates want him to stand. So if you remember earlier on, CR1 had also made a statement with regard to the same situation, saying why people are pushing for Edgar Lungu to come back into the political arena is because he seems to be like the money person. And there've also been memes going around to say the man with Kasaka Kandarama. This is a statement that Edgar Lungu had made during the campaign trial, should have been the 2016 campaign trial, where that song Duna Reverse was released, where he was saying, and then he was seen dancing where Chimba Kambwili even mocked him to say the way he's conducting himself is unpresidential. So people keep on speculating to say where has he kept his money and stuff like that. So this is where this statement is coming from. But otherwise, the facts around it, no one knows. So that's a statement coming from Cornelius Muetwa saying why people are pushing for Edgar Lungu to stand is because he's the money person. Everyone else does not seem to have the money. In other news, the opposition seem to have formed an alliance. That is Shekateka and Sakuiba Skota and a bunch of others, political parties. The ones that had made that statement that press conference where Edgar Lungu also appeared, I think should have been like 3 days ago, where most of the sound bites that the nation has been talking about have come from. So they've officially made an alliance, they have united, but Fred Membe is no longer part of that. So anyway, you see most of the statements that people have made around that. So these are just some of the pictures from the day. This is Edgar Lungu. He was at the funeral of one of the political party members of the Patriotic Front, a former member of parliament. So this is a statement that they've made. The new alliance of opposition political parties. So this is Sakuiba Skota. They say, removal of the immunity will be motivated by malice, Skota. So says, the UPND government should stop blackmailing the former head of state. And then they put that this was published on Smart Eagles, an extract from the press conference that they had. So renowned Lusaka lawyer Sakuiba Skota says the United Party for National Development government feels that the former President Edgar Lungu committed offense. They should produce evidence in court and remove his immunity instead of continuing to blackmail him. Speaking in an interview with Mafken FM in Lusaka, Mr. Skota said the statement attributed to local government minister Gary Nkombo that maybe the UPND should consider removing former head of state's immunity Lungu to see if you continue dancing is frightening and alarming, especially that it's coming from a senior government official. he said removing former President, he said removing former President Lungu's immunity will be motivated by malice and wrong reasons. Mr. Scott has since urged Gary Nkombo to withdraw a statement. So this is the alliance that they've made, and they are talking about President Lungu's immunity. So I doubt the UPND would push that. They do not have the numbers. It's all about numbers. It's like how the Patriotic Front was trying to impeach the Speaker of the National Assembly. If you remember when Mao Sampa hijacked the party, that clique of Mundubile and the other PF MPs wanted to impeach the Speaker of the National Assembly, but the numbers did not add up. They are not able to do that. It's the same thing with the UPND. In as much as they would want to remove Edgar Lungu's immunity, it has to go through Parliament. Parliamentarians are supposed to vote on it, and they do not have those numbers currently, because most of the independent MPs that are in there, then Munia Zulu and a bunch of guys were on the PF ticket, but once they were rejected, they decided to stand on an independent start. So they're still in good books with Edgar Lungu. So them approving the removal of his immunity is highly unlikely. So it's one of those, it's just a political game that they are playing. But otherwise, his removal of his immunity, it might be wished, but the process is more complicated than meets the eye. And then the Mao Sampa has been venting. He says he's brought in dead. The alliance has to be put together because of objective of State House. Problem is that all of them want to be president candidate position and nothing else. History tends to repeat itself. Geopolitics of Zambia, and he laughs out loud. So what Mao Sampa is referring to here is the alliance of these people. This new alliance, Skota, Shikateka, pretty much the opposition, what they're calling themselves. He says this thing is brought in dead. The likelihood of it succeeding is highly unlikely because every one of them wants to be president and no one wants to be subservient to any other person. Because you could see, even the press conference, Fred Member is no longer appearing in these press conferences because he has realized to say every one of them wants to be president. They've not decided on that, and they are proceeding. So I agree with Mao Sampa in this case to say that thing is dead. They're just pushing each other's agenda until the time comes when they have to decide to say, this is the candidate we're going to pitch, this is the person that's going to be president. Then you're going to see everyone else fall apart. So it's just that Fred Membe can read that and is no longer associating with them because he knows, I might as well be working on building my own groundwork than wasting time associating with people. Eventually, when the decision comes, the time comes to decide who's going to be president, then you see them fall apart. You might as well not stay part of it. And that's another reason why KBF has also stayed away from those, when they call for a unification of opposition to say, let's make a statement, you will find that KBF will shun it. He will send a representative or something, but not him appearing. Now, Fred Member has also started doing the same thing. So I agree here. It's dead on arrival. They are associating until that time comes when they have to decide who's going to be president. Then you will see that, they did not unite at all. In other news, the largest copper deposits in 100 years have been discovered in Zambia by Cobalt Metals of California. Now, this news has been received with mixed feelings from different parts of the public, because if there's been this conversation to say most of these minerals, the nation was already aware. Our forefathers, Kenneth Kaunda and them, they knew of these metals, but because of protecting our country, they decided to hold back and then release them bit by bit. But in the new recent past, most of the excited political players that we have, they keep on publishing everything that they discover to say, don't think the situation in Congo is very unique. So, yeah, people, and then who's this? Kasonde Mwenda says, Zambia discovers gold in Mpika. Zambians discover gold in Mpika. They are beaten and chased. Foreigners discover the copper we already know about. A primitive government celebrates them. Ufontini. So he's simply reacting to this news to say, people are already aware of these copper deposits. When the locals publicize to say we've discovered this this copper, gold, sugilite, or any mineral, they are beaten, threatened, and subjected to a lot of demeaning statements. But when the foreigners do it, it trends and it's news everywhere else. So he's just simply saying, Bufontinu, when the locals discover, why do you prefer getting such news from foreigners as opposed to your own people? So this news has received mixed feelings about the people. People asking to say, is it going to change the livelihood of people, or most of the profits are going to just be externalized, taken to foreign countries, and nothing trickles down to the local people? What is Mausampa continues venting? He says, so Chimba Kambwili is Chimba Kambwili still in Chirundu border, Zim side area, Harare, South Africa, or is in the UK? Is he now getting the medical attention needed? What is the end game? I am a concerned surety of his wondering how to answer the judge sooner or later. So he's simply saying, and then someone in his comment section just said, just prepare to pay the money. He's gone. He's not coming back. So King Radi there, he just says, yeah, forget about Chimba Kambwili. He's not coming back. He's gone. Just prepare the money that you need to pay the judges and everyone that needs to be paid. Otherwise, his return is highly unlikely. So he's simply venting to say, because he's a surety in one of the cases. Chimba Kambwili has a lot of cases in court. So the one that he was convicted for is just one of them. So I'm pretty sure the one that Mausampa is referring to here, where he's a surety, is another case. So he's simply saying, where is he? His whereabouts, no one knows. But I suspect he's in the UK now. From the previous video that I read, some of the people, your comments, the subscribers on this channel, were saying he's a dual citizen, like he's a citizen of Zambia and he's also a citizen of the UK, because his wife has always been a citizen of the United Kingdom. She's worked there for years. Even during the time he was minister, she was still working there. So the likelihood of him getting spousal citizenship, something of that nature, is highly likely. So in as much as they confiscated the Zambian passport, I suspect from what I've read, the comments from the subscribers here, I've got a broad range of subscribers here who are well informed. It's like he's got another UK passport. So it's most likely he's in the UK. But he's going to return because he's been making statements. He goes further. This is Mausampa still. He says, lies overvaluing himself, referring to Chimba Kambwili. No one asked him to endorse me. Actually, I do not want his endorsement as it is toxic and repels majority voters other than violent ones. Maybe I should disclose the message he gave me to deliver to government for him, but I just ignored him. So here, Mausampa is trying to insinuate to say, Chimba Kambwili is saying they were trying to blackmail him because there's in a statement to say the UPND government and Mausampa were trying to blackmail Chimba Kambwili to endorse Mausampa and reject Edgar Lungu's Patriotic Front. And that's why they could not release his evacuation medical clearance for him to go to the UK. But here, Mausampa is saying, I do not need his endorsement. In fact, I'm going to release the information that I know. It seems like he's got some information that Chimba Kambwili had given him to pass on to the UPND government. No one knows the truth behind that. And then someone in the comment section says, that's in the same post just down there. It says, the post can tell the state of your mind: anger, despair, frustration, coupled with fear. You need to see a doctor, especially a therapeutic doctor. So simply saying these rantings that Mausampa is doing, everyone can read through them. There is no fact to say he was given any information to pass on to to President Hakainde Hichilema. Because if you remember from the audio that trended a day ago, Chimba Kambwili and President Hakainde Hichilema seems to be in direct contact. They've got each other's numbers and they communicate. That's where that audio was extracted from. So for Mausampa to insinuate to say he became like the go-between, like the guy who handles the information between Chimba Kambwili and President Hakainde Hichilema, it's highly unlikely. And that's why you see from the comment section there, people are just laughing at him to say, yo, you sound, it's just anger, despair, frustration coupled with fear. Go and see a therapist there. Anyway, we'll see how that plays out. And then this is in today's paper in the Daily Nation. So it seems like Chimba has started sending messages. So wherever he is, whether in the UK, South Africa, wherever on earth he is, but it's most likely he's in the UK, he has recouped and is much better and is communicating with that individual there that you see above his head, Changala. So he says, Chimba speaks out. So he's been sending messages to the people on that side. And yeah, so an extract from that this interaction says, Chimba Kambwili speaks out. Chimba Kambwili yesterday broke his silence and narrated to Ben Changara, that's the individual there, in the previous, on the headline here, just above Chimba Kambwili's head and below President Hakainde Hichilema there. Narrated to Changara how the state attempted to blackmail and demonize, disparage and scandalize Zambia's 6th president Edgar Lungu and recognize the expelled member of parliament Mao Sampa. So this is the statement where, and then just there, Mao Sampa comments the same post that he had done on his personal page. He says, Uwufi, weka, who says I wanted his endorsement, which is very toxic anyway. So he simply repeats the post that he has done. So yeah, that's what is going on there. And then the Patriotic Fund says Chimba is safe and sound. He, however, remains unwell, ignores social media lies. So, which simply confirms that, yeah, there's communication between Chimba and the Edgar Lungu Patriotic Fund, where even that Changala individual seems to be coming from, in as much as he's purported to be an unaligned individual. Yes. So yeah, so people are confirming to say he's well. They will just not disclose where he is until he decides to disclose it himself. But it's likely he's in the UK. While this Savoy Imboela goes further, there's been news coming from the Barotseland agreement since the president made that statement to say no, there's no place called Barotseland. And a lot of statements have been coming from Western Province. So Savoy Imboela, the person that's leading the NDC, this is the party that Chimba had formed. So she says this. She says, like a demon which convinced Hakainde Hichilema to talk about Barotseland when he should have been talking to the permanent secretaries, is the same one that convinces him to tell us to buy tractors instead of Porsche cars, like Rolls Royce and limos. Certain things just keep to yourself than anger people unnecessarily. So what if you do not recognize or respect them? Will that change who they are just because of you? No. If anything, they will change who will change who they are to you than become anything else in their eyes. KK was right. So if you remember what she means by Kenneth Kaunda was right here. There's a video that has been circulating for a couple of years, I think the past 10 years or so, where President Kenneth Kaunda was saying he's afraid of Hakainde Hichilema becoming president. He might just disrupt the country or something. There's the video of that nature. So that's the one she's referring to there to say Kenneth Kaunda was right in this case. And then someone in the comment section to say, Justin Mwanga, responding to Saboy Mboya, says, do not politicize Barotseland issue. It's bigger than cheap politics being played. That document was signed with wisdom, and wisdom is bigger than education. So simply saying, don't politicize this agreement. It's much deeper than that. Don't make it for political mileage. But then again, in other news, just some things you cannot even describe. Breaking news. Then she says, obviously, I will not read that caption. It's just propaganda. But obviously, the overall news is that the gate of the Rutunga's house, if you can see in this video, where that statement is written, where it's written Rutunga, king of Barotseland, that thing, this truck from the medical stores hit into it and broke. It's just, you can't even explain what happened. So pretty much there's been an accident at the Lutunga's house or palace, and his gate has been destroyed, specifically where the Barotseland statement is written there. If you can see on screen, just below there, amongst the pictures. Let me see if I can expand some of these pictures, if I have any on this. So these are pictures from the accident scene, as you can see. Yeah, so a truck from a medical stores within Mongu went and hit into the gate and destroyed that statement. So it looks like people are insinuating different statements are coming off. You can't even explain this, because I've been to this place. I've been to the Tunga's Palace. It's not like a highway where you can see big trucks. There's a lot of traffic and possibility maybe the truck had lost its brakes. You can't explain this. We'll wait and see the explanation, because even Ratsa can't even explain. Let me read you the statement that Ratsa said. So Ratsa says the accident may have been caused by the entrance banner did not meet the 7 meters height clearance. So saying it was just too below for that truck to pass through, and that's why that accident happened. So saying there was no malice, it's just an accident. But then again, if this guy was driving, this truck was driving at a normal pace, he would have noticed to say it cannot pass. So what speed was he moving at? Anyway, certain things. What is the mass reports? The judges are now vulnerable. The high turnover and removal of judges sending fears on the bench. Shangala. This is the same individual who's purported to have received a statement from Chimba Kambwili earlier today. Yeah, so that's the news so far. And then Chimba Kambwili seems to be making more news. He says I can beat Hakainde Hichilema in 2026. Says fugitive after his plot to dupe government using illness is exposed. So seems like he's still fighting from the hospital bed. This was reported in the News Diggers. We wait and see how this story plays out eventually. That's the news so far, ladies and gentlemen, in Zambia. This is my YouTube channel. Make sure you click on the subscribe button, you click on the notifications to get the notifications of every video that I upload. I try to upload every week, sometimes every day of the week, but definitely each week you expect a video. So make sure you click on the subscribe, like this video, and there's much more on the playlist. So visit the channel and see you around.